It is time to hop into the Masters Coliseum. Pretty decent timing by me. Could it have been better? Of course it could have been better. Let's do it. Is it time yet? It is absolutely time. I need to make sure that I'm live on Team Liquid as well. And I'm not. See? It's too early for the Team Liquid admins to be alive. But now I am. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. The main reason why you guys have tuned in on this early morning.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight!
Here we go, in the top left side of hard left. We are looking at the main base of the man who is a back-to-back WTL Codas champ, and I am very jealous of that. On-site Gaming's Maru. Very casual, opening best of 3 of the day. You guys like that? In the bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the Finnish Phenom himself, who always has a couple frowny faces to make in the early game. And it makes you wonder, is he eager to play video games? But I can guarantee you, he is. Basilisk Serral. Now I can grab my coffee, by the way, guys. The one that I forgot about. I know that double barracks on the low ground is pretty common in this matchup, but I feel that Serral does not, that Maru doesn't do it that often. Now, I don't think it's something to really get ultra fascinated over or try to analyze it to a T, but don't often see Maru go for 2x Reaper. And of course he has done it before somebody is like, but Ronnie, he did it again. Yes, I'm sure that he's done it. It's just that other Terrans used to do it a whole lot more. And for a bit this was even the absolute standard, and I felt that Maru didn't do it that often, as Maru is off to a good start there, guys, as he puts the Reaper on hold position next to the Extractor. Serral tried to make it an Extractor, couldn't. So Maru draws first blood, and this is honestly going to be a little bit annoying for Yona. As that grenade will connect as well. Slow Zerglings don't stand a chance. I kind of feel that Serral's in a bit of trouble here. Loses the second drone. Nice moves indeed by Maru, but sloppy start by Yona. 2 drones is an amazing start, and obviously Maru is not done yet. Now he's not making Reaper number 4 and 5, so things will slow down a little bit after these first 3 Reapers. But if you're opening up like this as a Terran, this is exactly what you're hoping for. And he might even get a little more. He's playing triple command center on the other side of the map behind this. Serral's link speed is 10 seconds away from finishing up, but obviously he can't really do a whole lot with it other than maybe surround the Reapers. Excellent start for our Korean Terran. Serral does get the first one, he should be able to get the second one as well, and even Reaper number 3 I think is in all sorts of trouble, as Lings are quicker, Lings can just hunt it down, so. Maru does end up losing all the map control and map presence he has at the moment, but he's cranking out a couple Marines at a time, 3 at a time I believe, with a Reactor and a Tag Lab. That Tag Lab is a little bit exposed, but I don't think Serral can go for it. I mean, if he would have right now right-clicked with all of his Zerglings on it, maybe. But yeah, then he just rebuilds it and you lost all of those links. I'm not sure what I'm clicking, but I hope I successfully subscribed to your channel with Prime. Roddy, I love your casting. Yes, you have successfully done it, mate. Thank you, Kozuki Swift, welcome, and thank you. You do any streamer a huge favor if you use their Prime on them. Doesn't have to be me, guys, but if you have one, you should definitely use it. If you love StarCraft, I would say give it to Waddy. Piggy is a great streamer as well. I mean, there's a lot of great options out there. But always use it. Doesn't cost you anything. It only costs Amazon a couple buckies. Who's the favorite here? Coming into it today, I thought that Serral was a minor favorite. 5 minutes in, I am not too certain about that prediction or call by me. I think it is very close. I think most people do favor Serral. Just historically, Serral has done very well against Maru. And a lot of people seem to think that Maru is a bit washed up. No, I don't think that's true at all. Maru was the best performing player in the WTL Codas regular season and is still an animal. But today may be his day. Today may be his day. Did we make it, Popelli? That's weird because I thought I needed like 8 and I only saw 2. Thank you, HMHVV. Server-wise, it should always be the same, and I cannot 100% confirm this, but like 99%. I think it's Game 1 US West, Game 2 Central, Game 3 West. So West, Central, West. Game 1 should be slightly Maru favored. Game 2 is very decently Cero favored, and Game 3 is slightly Maru favored. You are number 2100. Hawk. We are peaking, guys, early in 2024. And they keep on telling me, Roddy, you're an old man, do something else with your life. No. I'm a happy Twitch streamer, guys. Obviously, sometimes life can be a bit frustrating and whatnot. I have very little to complain about, so I won't. Besides the Africa Cup, they need to score more goals there. We've got +1 melee and +1 carapace on the way for Iona, as Creepthread is making some good progress. Also finds a couple stray marines. Those are little pickups that will make his life better. Maru is honestly losing too many marines here, I think, at first, but he does clean up the circling, so it's okay. Has some potential here with 1-1 stim and combat shield. At least I feel like we should have combat shield. Yeah, okay, we just... Hopefully not for a very long time, NTT 2C away. I'm currently really enjoying the position that they are in, and I hope it sticks around for a little while longer. I think for the entire season, mate, they're going to be kind of bad. Unless they somehow get a whole bunch of good players in the winter break. Doesn't look like it. Nice little delay there on the command center. So Cero finding some value with his links, and obviously it's giving him a good scout as well. He's not going up against anything surprising. It is bio and mines. Very marine heavy. I don't even know if we've built a single marauder so far. Maru unloading his marines here on top of all these links. And it's not the prettiest fight. I feel like Cero is definitely getting the best of Maru with a couple of these tiny skirmishes. But that is not going to make or break the game. Maru's economy is pretty good. Cero's economy is not bad, but not fantastic. Upgrades, Maru has a tiny advantage. It will all come down to the first big trades with Marine and Widow Mines. Really? Full metal. I know that they were doing really bad, and I know there was some chatter about it, but I was like, there's no way they're gonna fire Mourinho. That's crazy. I did not expect that. Bit of a shame right before final plays them. I would have kind of liked to try to beat Mourinho one time. There's the... Ooh, that Widow Mine shot, guys, connects with like 10 plus Banelings. That was not the fight that Cero was looking for. Obviously, Cero does get a couple of the bio units and he cleans up the mines, but one of those mines gets a monstrous connection on every single Baneling that Cero has. And Cero's not a Zerg on 100 drones and a gold or a mega base, where he can lose that many Banelings over and over again, and it's not a problem. It is a problem. I think if you're a Iona fan and you're hoping that Cero wins this game, you have reason to be concerned. Maru's looking pretty good, pretty sharp. A couple of Banelings do try to find connections here with the bio units. Beautiful, tiny little timing here on these Zerglings. So he does get 5 SCVs for basically nothing. That's good by Cero, but Cero needs a little more than that. +2 melee is about to kick in, and that's obviously going to make the trades a little bit better for the Lings and Banes, as Maru is trying to pick Cero apart. Not something that I think people have done historically with great amount of success. Nice spreads though on these Marines. Oh my goodness. Maru going full automaton 2000 here. That was picture perfect, guys, and that makes it harder for Cero to clean this up. Cero does have a couple of Hydras show up, and these Hydras can obviously start working on the Medivacs, but Maru is looking good. That was incredibly sexy. Very well done. Great micro. As the scan goes down, Widow Mines will burrow on creep. The Widow Mines have potential. Will find good connections again. And Maru is going to unload all of his units immediately. Try to save a couple of these mines. Good news for Cero is that he has Overseers 4 days. And he wants to at least hold the high ground here. Or take control of the Xel'Naga Watchtower. But it's not going to be that easy. Good job by Maru taking care of all of the changelings. Cero is dropping an infestation pit, but it's going to take a little while before that one is going to give him access to Hive. Taking fights on creep, I think it's going to be doable, but off creep or on the edge of creep, I think that's where it's going to be a lot more difficult. So far, so good. Sero's hanging in there. If he gets a great connection here, it might even be amazing. Let's not get that. Obviously, Drilling Claws is done. Maru already adding additional Star Quartz. Pretty quick in that regard. 3-3 upgrades on the way as well. As long as the upgrades are even, I think Sero can do this for a little while, especially once more on the high ground or on creep, right on the edge of creep. Taking good fights off creep, finding economic damage, I think is almost impossible with the Laertec army that Sero is currently working with. Sero pretty much always plays on hard lead, guys, but this is actually the map that he pretty much every single time against great Terran players ends up losing. Lost it against Clem in the ESL Europe Regionals, lost against Oliveira in Atlanta, lost it against Clem in Atlanta. I feel like Hardlet is a map that he doesn't want to veto, but does not have a very good win record on it. Against the very best out there, obviously. Might be a bit early, but I don't like Sero's chance in this game. I don't think it's early at all, man. I think that a lot of world-class Zergs would tell you that Sero is dead. We're not going to be that dramatic. We're going to see if he can still turn this into something. But I do think Sero is in trouble. Those world-class Zergies, they know what's up. We have Banelings. The Banelings are waiting. Queens need to buy some time. I wouldn't hate a transfuse or two. That's a lot of Queens to buy time. And I think Liberators are about to show up as well. And that's going to make it so damn difficult. Sero is going to try to break Maru here. I want to see the other fight. I think this is the more important fight. That's a great hold, actually, guys. That's an absolutely fantastic hold by Sero. As he cleans up the lips, cleans up the bio, cleans up the Widow Mines. He needed that, but that was 10 out of 10. That was great. Can we now continue on that note? Can we find some momentum? Can Sero potentially find damage on the other side of the map? I think he is a bit too broke to do that, so maybe Sero's game plan at the moment is just about surviving, keeping the bases safe. Spread some creep, make sure you don't take any damage, and then wait for those hive upgrades to kick in. Always live, Nipple Twister. Always live. I know on a lot of other channels people like to cast replays and yada yada, but this channel always live. I don't cast stuff unless it's live. I am a live sports enjoyer. Maru doesn't close out this game soon, and I think Sero takes it. I still think that Sero is in a pretty uncomfortable spot, mate. He is down in upgrades at the moment. The Terran army is about to get a lot stronger with Liberators and Advanced Ballistics. And Sero doesn't really have any great hive-tech units. The only thing he will have is Adreno Glands kicking in, and Adreno is awesome. I still really like it for Maru, especially because Maru is about to find an opening over here, guys, in the bottom side of the map. Does lose 12 SCVs against Banelings. The Observer did not show us, but in return, Maru gets a Queen, 2 drones, and a base. That's pretty good. He's going to get a lot of links as well. Does need to pick up eventually. Don't hate that trade for Maru. Zerg is always down in upgrades. It's not true. That is absolutely not true. It doesn't have to be, mate. It really depends how the Terran opens. I have watched 25,000 TVZs in my life at the bare minimum. And I can guarantee you that I've seen plenty of games where the Zerg is ahead in upgrade. But if you think you know the game better than me, mate, make sure to let Twitch know. Are they often down in upgrades? Yes. Are they always down in upgrades? No. That is not how it works. Alright, Bobito, you know it better than me. You know what, mate? Let's agree to disagree. You know more about it than I do. And let's enjoy the rest of the game. It is too early to get angry, guys. If Bobito, who's eating Doritos at the moment, wants to make a couple statements, we'll let him have it. As all hell breaks loose over here, with a couple of SCVs dying to the Lings and Banes, Sero does push Maru back one more time, and he keeps on kind of resetting the Liberator count over and over again. The Fungal was pretty sweet as well. It's a very fun first game between these two. We've seen some very slow Maru against Sero games in the past. We've seen very one-sided games between these two. This one is none of those things. It is fast, it's action-packed, both of them finding some damage here and there. Why making Ghost? Because Ghost is the ultimate late-game unit. Even if there are no Lurkers, even if there are no Ultras or Broodlords to snipe, Ghosts are just fantastic to have. Especially since obviously Cero does rely on the Hydras to take care of the Liberators. Hydras are pretty expensive, Ghosts are amazing. Ghosts are also tanky units. It's only been 16 days, mate. If I said something about this year, I meant historically. In the past, think of TSL 9 finals. Think of... I mean, they've had a couple of series in a row. They made them play against each other quite often in some of these online tournaments in the group stage. Maru has definitely won a couple times against Cero too. They played against each other in the regular season of WTL Code S, and they went 1-1. A great second game on Side Delta. It was amazing. As Cero does get on top of the third base of Maru. And we mentioned the bank of Cero a couple of times, but obviously Maru has also never been mega rich. Always feels that he's capable of maxing out, has plenty of SCVs, has plenty of bases to mine from, as a couple of the Hydras do snipe one of the lips, but in return you can see the power of the Ghost. Pew, pew, pew. It's never a bad moment to make Ghost in this matchup, matey. As the scan goes down, Maru is going to push the creep back further, and Cero is going to evacuate this base immediately. Unfortunately for Cero, those banelings were not quite done yet. He loses a couple of them. Goes for an immediate counter, and yes, Liberators are great, but obviously you're going to have to lift that Orbital, Maru. Otherwise it will disappear real quick against Zerglings with +3 melee and Adrenal Glands. Maru is going to try to take the top right side, guys, and he's going to fly his command center above a hatchery. Like, excuse me, sir, I believe this spotty belongs to me. Mind your step. Thank you to Dictus for the 30 months. Believe that for the 4 months. Tossert, very close to Tassad, but it's Tossert. Thank you, matey, for the 2 months. Hello, Brad. I missed if it was a kill. I did not see that. I assumed that Cero was going to cancel it. Now, Cero does have plenty of minerals in the bank, so that's not the biggest deal ever at the moment, but you don't want to do that too often, obviously. No need to throw away your money like that. I do fear a little bit for Yona, just because I think Maru's army is incredibly powerful. But maybe Cero's plan is not to battle the army straight up, but it's just to outmaneuver him over and over and over again. It was a kill. Yeah, I believe you guys. I wasn't doubting you guys over it. I was just reading chat, saying thank you to a couple of people that allow me to do what I do for a living. Maru is going to take out the bottom left side as well, so that is another hatchery going down. Cero has money, has some gas, 122 army supply for both players at the moment. This feels that Maru's army is a lot more valuable. Look at the amount of Liberators, and obviously Maru is not going to do the same thing as we saw yesterday, and that is forget Advanced Ballistics. Has a +3 armor already on the Liberators too, so they are very tanky against Hydras. I don't see how Cero takes great fights here, but I think the plan is to outmaneuver him, try to pick him apart, one abduct at a time, one Baneling connection at a time. On creep, obviously, it is always a little bit more doable as the Banelings are looking for the Ghost, but the Ghost will activate personal cloaking. Cero even used Microbiome Shroud there for a bit. Don't know if it made a big difference or not. Pretty decent. Banelings on creep are always pretty damn decent. Obviously, it is problematic for Cero that he lost that base on the right side, and now he lost the bottom left too. Has never taken that center base, by the way. Is Cero pulling a Showtime? Never mind, he's taking his time. That was quite good by Yona. Can he keep on doing this? Perhaps one great fungal of a Sharking Infestor is all we need. Maru obviously wasn't born last night. He's going to get some missile turrets. He's going to throw down a scan. Try to keep track of these burrowed units. Maru is indeed kind of broke, but Maru has 112 army supply and a great army. Losing this PF would not be nice. Cero needs a few more Banelings, I think, to successfully kill it. Here are those extra Banelings, and he will blow it up. 10 SCVs to come along with it. So Maru now replaces that build with an Orbital, but that's obviously where maybe Cero can find some more value out of these Zergling run-bys. I would say that it looks I don't know. I think it's very close, guys. Not every game I can always say that it's clearly player A favorite or player B favorite. I think this is very close. Maru still has a much better army, but Zero has found good fights. Zero is finding a decent amount of economic damage. It's tough. I think they're both playing well. It often comes down to just who gets the better engagement here, right? It comes down to perfect spellcasting. Can Maru land some EMPs and keep his Liberators and Ghosts safe? Or will it be Zero that lands Great Abducts, Blinding Clouds, Infestors with Fungals? Like, I don't know about this fight totally. That's 12 SCVs. One thing to keep an eye on. Ooh, Maru, by the way, is doing something that a lot of people in Twitch chat have been talking about. And that is adding a Raven, guys. 21 minutes into the game. Maru says, you know what, Twitch chat is pretty fucking smart. They always say that Terran players should just get a Raven in the late game. He is gonna get a Raven. And not a great run by, but okay, how on earth are we gonna kill this many ghosts? We need Fungos and we need a crazy amount of Banelings. Maru's economy is, I would say, for the first time in this game, like kind of in the dumps. Twitch chat was way ahead of the meta. Instead of having to scan everywhere for those burrowed infestors, why not just add a Raven? 104 SCVs have died in a 22-minute game. Zero has done a 10 out of 10 job with these tiny Ling run-bys. This is everything that I always hope for a Maru Zero game. I know we have die-hard Zero fans, we have die-hard Maru fans. I'm a Bastards member, so obviously I hope that Jonah does well. But above all, I am a lover of StarCraft, and I just want to see great games in. This is a great first game between these two. It is the group stage of this tournament for anybody who's not totally sure what you're watching. Both players have 1 win and 0 loss in a Swiss format group. If they win 3 times, they make it into the playoffs. If they lose 3 times, they will be eliminated. It's a 16-player tournament. 8 players will advance into the quarterfinals. Both of them off to a good start, 1-0. So this is an important series, but it's not make it or break it, tournament live on the line, that kind of dramatic. But it definitely is one that matters and one that is very fun so far. Zero is not done yet killing SCVs, but I think Maru at this point is thinking of just killing Zero straight up. It looks like Zero is winning because of all the SCVs he's killing and the economic damage he's finding, but I actually kind of think that Maru is still winning. Just because of the crazy amount of goals that he has. I don't know how Zero kills that army. But hey, maybe Zero's game plan will just continue to be this. Non-stop run-bys, non-stop economic damage. And never actually battle the army and just fight small portions of the time. Shocking Infestor there, guys. It is burrowed on the high ground. And it gets scanned. A couple of cloaked ghosts have made it into the main to deal with these Zerglings. Zero should have burrow and is going to burrow a couple of these Lings. Maru throws out a scan, but he actually misses a couple, guys. Zero's drone count has also gone down a tiny bit. Obviously, Zero does not have the luxury to drop mules and boost his own economy. But he also needs a big army. Like, if he is still on 80 drones at this point, how on earth is he going to kill this army if he has only 120 army supply? There is a world where Zero wins for sure, but Zero needs great spellcasting, and that's so difficult against Maru, who's obviously an excellent late game player and is great with the Ghost. I agree that Maru is ahead. I completely agree. Domino ahead. I think Maru is ahead. I think Maru is winning, but Zero's playing a great game and might be able to make some magic happen. 2 Fungals and a couple Blinding Clouds is perhaps all it takes. Okay, we are starting up by killing a couple of ghosts, guys, as he uses a lot of Shroud to just stand here and battle all these lifts. How good is that ability as another Blinding Cloud goes down, but the ghosts are so tanky. And ghosts are simply better than Hydras. I think Zero did good there, but nowhere near enough. Maru's army is invincible. And that is something that Zero can unfortunately not repeat. A very chaotic fight, a cool fight, but one where the ghost, surprise, surprise, are you guys ready for a surprise Pikachu face? The ghost looked very good in that fight. Maru has been working towards that army throughout the entirety of the game. Does have a nice Hydra run by here. Kills those Liberators, gets the depot, the sensor tower, and a bunch of SCVs, but how many ghosts remain? I feel like at least 10 plus, right? Zero just doesn't have any money anymore, right? He's gonna try to rebuild a couple of his spellcasters, but he's going to lose that center base. Maru obviously still is spamming some mules in some of the bases that he still has control of. Zero on creep with Banelings. Banelings do find good connections, by the way, there, guys, with the ghosts. That was nice, but there are still like 8 ghosts remaining, if not more. And the Liberators are making sure that
Justice reigns from above.
a 26-minute banger on Hardlat between two absolute legends of the game. The two GOATs in the eyes of many diehard starters, two fans. And it seems that game one will go in favor of Maru. Sero still trying to run circles around him. But it is Hardlat once more, and this is definitely something that you guys can keep your eye on. When Sero plays against the very best Terrans in the world, Hardlat is a map that does not treat him kindly. We have a nice little copy pasta going in the chat. It is a classic. I was asking for that yesterday, but nobody had it for me. The copy pasta goes as following. Hey, Parabomb there, by the way. I feel like one Parabomb would have been good enough to kill 3 out of 4. Maru's in the main base. He's going to throw down a scan, kill all of these drones. I will read out the copy pasta soon, as Sero's obviously still trying to make something happen, but I think this Hydra army, guys, is not good enough. Marines, Marauders, and SCVs good enough to push it back. Careful there, by the way, Maru. Imagine if you would have flown into Vipers and Parabombs. Little blinding cloud goes down. I mean, the supplies are so low, and I want to hype up this game more than I maybe have been doing it in the last minute, but this Ghost army is just invincible, guys. It does not die, and because of that, Maru will take the 1-0 lead on Hardlat. If you're a Sero fan, don't panic yet. He often loses on Hardlat. Maru has no gaps there, no, but Maru had an army that could not possibly die. To be fair, it's really hard to control this late game Terran army. You need a hotkey for Ghost to counter Lurkers, Ghost to counter Hydras, Ghost to counter Broodlords, Ghost to counter Ultras, Ghost to counter Vipers, Ghost to EMP Infestors, Ghost to nuke the economy, and Ghost to snipe detection so your Ghosts don't die. I feel, by the way, that's a wrong copy pasta because it has Ultras twice, no? Lurkers, Ghosts, Hydras, Broodlords, Ultras, Vipers. Oh no, it actually works. I thought I read Ultras twice. How many Banelings to kill a Ghost? A lot. I'd say it's at least 4, maybe 5. Banelings are not as effective against Ghosts as they are against other units. 7? 7 is crazy many. 5, 6, or 7. Ghosts are very tanky. And the thing is, often you have Medivacs in the mix as well, right? And you don't have 7 Banelings on top of each other exploding into Ghost. You have like damage, 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 heal, damage, heal, damage. So it might be 6, but then it often turns into either 7 or 8 because the Ghosts will obviously split up and all Banelings do not connect at the same time. So, alright, round 2. Are we gonna proxy? Wouldn't be surprised. Top right side taking the 1-0 lead in his second best of 3 of the tournament. On-site Gaming's Maru. Bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of the Finnish Phenom, as my stream is lagging a tiny bit. It is the great Iona Sotala, Sero. Ghost deal great damage, mate. It's not just snipe, but yeah. I've had a couple games myself. I was playing PvT late game, and then I saw they had a bunch of Ghosts, but I was like, okay, you know, I have carriers. It's not a big deal. If I then lose all my observers, and there are like 10 Ghosts underneath your carriers, they actually kill carriers pretty quick. And this is something that doesn't make sense to me because it sounds so stupid. You hear like pew, 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 and you think that it's impossible to lose carriers to Ghost. But I've done it more than once. In high numbers, Ghosts deal crazy damage. I think they both played well, and it is important, guys, to keep in mind that Sero didn't necessarily have the very best start. He lost 2 drones early against the Reapers. Never was that rich, right? He never had a mega big bank. Sero had to really work to even be competitive in that game, and he worked damn hard for it, and he found great damage, and he displayed great multitasking. It's just that I do think Maru was always in a pretty sweet spot. Yep, everything is best of 3 in this tournament in the beginning until we enter the playoffs. Once we enter the playoffs, it will obviously turn into a best of 5. So if you guys do !B in the chat, it will link you to the Wikipedia page and you guys will get the information. These guys have played 1 series in the tournament so far. Maru defeated Clem in his opening best of 3 of the tournament. Sero defeated Raynor in his opening best of 3 of the tournament. 1 month streak is a thing. We can make it a thing, mate. Thank you, White One Deer. So both players I want to know if they drop to 1-1. Obviously, they still have, at the bare minimum, 2 more series to play, potentially 3. But it's always nice to get a little bit of Maru against Cero. This is a very big online tournament. First place is over $17,000, or over 16,000, very close to 17,000, which makes it a bigger first place than the ESL Winter Championships we just had in Atlanta. So it may just be an online tourney, but don't be fooled. It's a very big online tourney. Thank you to KX Akirask as well. Welcome, matey. Triple CC opening by Maru once more. As his Reaper finds a couple of Zerglings that are chilling in the bottom right side. Or well, center right side. Hellion Banshee perhaps. Can also just be Hellion into Viking Liberator. I wouldn't hate that. Like, I don't know if this is the right moment to go Banshees, because they're always going to be rather late. But it is very safe to go Hellion Banshee. It blows my mind that such heavy hitters are 0-2 in the bracket. So far, Oliveira and Beyond are the only 2 players that are 0-2, right? I think it's Oliveira and Beyond. I think they are the only 2 players that are 0-2. There was a little bit of chatter once, SC Demon, that Alive was playing ladder games, and they shared his account on Reddit, and they said, like, we think that this is live, everybody is certain it's live. Apparently some other Koreans were very angry with him, and they would leave games against him, they wouldn't play. But that's like the only noise we've ever heard. Outside of that, we've never really seen official games, and we've never really seen him try to compete again or whatever. You can't really say that for tournaments he's been lifelong banned, because what is stopping Big Dick Alex in the chat right now from running a $1,000 tournament and letting live play? Like, if he wants to do that, he can do that, right? So there is no such thing as you're banned from tournaments forever. You can be banned from certain tournaments, but you cannot be banned from tournaments forever. Because if I win the Powerball lottery next month, or whatever, the Staats Loterij in Dutch, I win 10 million bucks, and I want to run $1 million StarCraft 2 tournament. If I want to let him play, I can let him play, right? Because I'd be in charge. Only me here, the weird BGM. The sound effects of this game are a little bit different than the sound effects you guys normally see when I am observing. The Chinese client has some very dramatic death animations. It's not a legal agreement, no. Like, you can obviously say that he's banned from Caspa tournaments, but Caspa hasn't ran a tournament in forever. He ruined the esports scene. I think that is way too dramatic, but I don't think we need to talk about life all day, guys. I love you guys have your opinions. I obviously think that he deserved to be punished. I think he deserved to be banned for a while. Do I think that he's the main reason why StarCraft isn't popular in Korea anymore, or did he ruin our entire scene or esports? No, I think that goes way too far. StarCraft 2, unfortunately, was never that popular in Korea. And that is just a fact. It obviously had some momentum in the beginning, and it had a crazy amount of hype, but it was never as popular as some people made it out to be. Thank you to Jumi for the 40 months. Stop being reasonable. I always try, mate. And I won't say that I always am. I'm not perfect either, but... I am not disagreeing with that, Hanno. Obviously, what Live did hurt the scene, hurt StarCraft 2. But to put everything on Live goes way too far. And then people, I think, are just looking for a reason why the game that a lot of us love is not as popular in mainstream. But that's not Live's fault. What he did was not good. What he did, he deserved to be punished for. What he did absolutely hurt StarCraft. Is he the reason why we're not bigger than League? No, absolute bullshit. A scapegoat, exactly. Absolutely addicted to Oasis. Some of that is true, but it's not all that. But anyway, let's focus on the game, guys. We got Maru Cero. I don't think we need to use Maru Cero to talk about life all day, every day. What he did was illegal.
That's fucking illegal.
Now we're going to talk about Maru against Cero, guys, as this game is about to heat up. So far, nothing too crazy has happened. A lot of poking and prodding, but nobody really getting any big victories. Maru getting this little army to the other side of the map, though, without Serral seeing it, could become a little bit problematic. I like that Liberator as well in the mix here. You don't often see a Marine tank Liberator push that early in this matchup. Serral does have a lot of Lings and Banes. I want to say that I think it is enough, as Maru is not moving the Hellions. Is he going to move to save the Marines? Well, he saves a couple of them. Oh, that final tank shot, by the way, was massive on those Banelings. So Serral ends up losing pretty much every single Baneling he has out on the map. There are 3 Banelings remaining there. This is a lot of Marines. Maru, can he snipe those last 3 Banelings? The answer is yes. Now there are 5 more Banelings morphing. But Maru is on fire, and he's going to snipe each and every single one of them too. He says what Liquid Clump can do, I can do too. And after 8 minutes and 10 seconds, with a relatively slow build-up, it is Maru who hits first with a devastating attack. Serral had so many units. It looked like he had more than enough. It looked like he kind of got a nice jump on the army too, but that one tank shot, guys, of the final tank that was going to go down, killed like 5 more Banes. And that allowed Maru to unload all of the Marines and just keep going. Serral is in trouble, as now the Baneling nest is under fire as well. Obviously on creep, these Banes are going to be quick. Keep an eye on the top right side of your screen. There are a lot of links looking for reinforcements, and maybe eventually can turn this into a nice round. But Serral needs a perfect cleanup right here, right now. Otherwise, this game is pretty much over. And it will be Maru who goes 2-0 in this tournament. Good morning, Jeremy. It's been a while, Jeremy. Oh. Can Serral drag this game out? That base that he has in the center of the map that the observer just showed us is a base with a rich Vespian geyser, so that's worth keeping an eye on. That is going to allow him to morph a few more Banes than he would normally be able to morph of this economy. As a couple of Zerglings and Banelings on the low ground are going to try to get on top of that tank. Will get on top of the tank. It's another massive tank shot and another one. And Maru snipes every single Baneling there too. Jeez Louise. I mean, Maru is looking insane, guys. Maru is looking absolutely insane here. As the Banelings just cannot possibly get close to these Marines. Every single tank that's dead says like, alright, I may go down, but this is my final act for the Terran race. As Maru gets the kill as well on that hatchery in the top left side. Not a cancel, but a kill. Widowmine does deal with a little bit of friendly fire. One of the better fights here for Serral in a little while, but is it too late, or is there still a reason to be hopeful? That Overseer is going to finish up and then maybe allow Serral to kill all 3 Widowmines. Has to do with the client, Mr. Nipple Twister. Great username, by the way, mate. I've always dreamed of growing up to be a 36-year-old man and talk to nipple twisters in the chat at 1 p.m. That is what my dreams were made of when I was in high school. I was like, I will study long and hard today to make sure that one day I'm an adult and I can talk to the nipple twister in the chat. There's Lings and Banes here on creep. We'll try to find some connections with Marines, Widowmines, and Marauders. Really good fight again by Serral. Man, kudos to Yona. Yona just doesn't die easily, eh? This game felt like a straight-up disaster, and it obviously was a little bit of a disaster. But Serral will not go down without a fight. I do still think that he's in all sorts of trouble. And I'm sure that you guys agree. The queen count is bloody high, and that should be enough to buy some time for Lings and Banes to get in the mix. I think Serral was worried that there were some Widowmines here, but there are no Widowmines. Maru actually leaves a lot of Marines behind. I guess he's mostly focused on the top left. Needs to split up those mines, by the way. You cannot burrow all those mines that close to each other, Maru. And he will do it at the absolute last second. It's a big moment, guys, because if he loses 5 mines there to those Widowmines, he's actually in trouble. Serral's taking a minus supply lead. Absolutely insane that Serral's able to do this. Maru does still have a few Marines left over. I mean, Maru looked a little more sloppy in the last 90 seconds of this game than he did in the 3 minutes prior to that. Because it felt that Maru was showing us some Terran perfection and every single trade was picture perfect. I still think Maru is obviously ahead, guys. We have 3 upgrades on the way, triple ghost. He's about to become a 5 base Terran. And Serral's just surviving on, at the moment, a Lairtag army. That's not the fight, Serral. But the game still looks incredibly good for the Terran, but kudos to Yona, who never leaves early, always puts up one hell of a fight. Zero's definitely staying alive. Can we call it a comeback? What is the meme? Don't call it a comeback yet. If Zero does win this game though, this was the ultimate. He had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that's the second time that Zero does not cancel a hatchery in this game, so it's a straight up kill. Another 300 minerals down the drain. Zero is looking for a better fight in the top left, ends up losing 5 drones, does push the army back. The queen count is fucking high, man. Pardon my French, guys, but if I see that many queens in a 13-minute game, I have to say it. As Burrow is now done. Maybe a crazy amount of burrowed banelings is all we need. Couple of infestors get scanned. All 3 infestors die. The fungos are decent, but not even all that insane. Maru does leave a few girls behind. Feels like Zero has a money hack in this game. You'd think that he's been broke for a while now, and that everywhere we look, he's taking economic damage, he's losing bases, he has lost so many units, but then he's still maxed out and he's got money in the bank. It lands a couple of abducts as well, and 2 goals there. Guys? Don't call it a comeback yet, but it's really starting to look like one. I have to snooze the ad. That would be terrible. Twitch chat would be very angry at me. I think even the nipple twister will start shouting at me, guys. It's over play. We have another 15 minutes to be safe from ads. I agree that Maru is still looking very good in this game and that he is ahead. But I'm very impressed by Zero's ability to hang in there just like he showcased on Hardlet. Off creep, it's just a completely different ball game. All the banelings get obliterated. We're fighting close to a planetary as well. I know the PF is not participating in the fight, but Maru can always run towards the planetary. And that should keep his goal safe. Couple of Hydras turn around, and it seems that all 3 of them will die if Maru wants to snipe, and he will. Pew, 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 pew. I think we still have just changelings in the top left. It's just, we have seen a lot of games from world-class Zergs on this map against Terran, and what often happens is that the entire map is purple. Zerg has all the money in the world, and the Terran is on 4 bases and trying to very slowly and very steadily, with a lot of tanks on the high ground, try to get up to a 5th base. This is not one of these games. Like, Maru is cooking. He's already on 6 bases, he's out on the map, he's pushing creep back, so I think Maru is looking incredibly good in this game. Somebody said, is Adrenal not done? It's a good question, mate. I think it is done. I feel like I saw it finish up, but I could be thinking of the other game. There is a chance that we don't have Adrenal yet. I'll try to keep an eye on the upgrade tab if the observer ever shows us, but I thought I saw it finish up, but maybe I'm just dreaming. 2 more infestors do get revealed here. Tiny fungal does not connect with anything. We have a sharking infestor near the planetary as we have a surround potentially. Can we land a sync fungal, guys, on all the goals? We cannot because there is a missile turret that's going to reveal that infestor. Now the banelings deep off creep will try to connect with goals, but it doesn't work out very often very well. Personal cloaking gets activated and the vast majority of the goals will stay safe. Infestor gets peeled. This feels that Maru's army is good, and Zero's army is somewhat mediocre. I really love the addition of the random missile turrets there by Maru. It's obviously Terran players have now been fungled a few too many times. Zero gets sniped here, by the way. One of the Vipers indeed gets sniped as he's trying to use the acceleration zone to get a surround on the ghost, and hey, it kind of works. That's a couple of them. I think for a while he did have the rich Vespian guys, obviously, Brett. I did point out that Zero had that base very early, and because of that, he can maybe make more Banelings. Are these Banelings good enough to kill this planetary? Well, Lings and Banes is good enough. Obviously, Maru has bases for days. EMPs don't really connect with anything. There is another command center flying above a hatchery on the top side of the map, guys. It's kind of funny. These two really do want to take the same bases. Zero is rich, but he's not making units that are incredibly powerful. And I hope that he does have Adreno Glands, because without Adreno, you're probably never going to win. Even with Adreno, it's going to be hard. Don't forget that he does not have 3-3 upgrades either, guys. Zero is working with 2-2. Maru has been on 3-3 for a very long time. Kind of feels that this is one of these games where the supply does lie a little, and the banks are very deceiving too. He has +3 Carapace, but he does not have +3 missile attacks or +3 melee. It is indeed hard to transition. You say transfer, but I think you mean transition. I am not blaming Serral for not having a better army, for working with what he's currently working with. But that doesn't change the reality of the situation, that the game looks very good for Maru. That's all I'm trying to say. Serral has been on the ropes for a very long time, and the fact that he's still alive, that he's still battling, is impressive. But that doesn't mean that he's winning or that the game is looking good for him. Hydra, Ling, Bane, Infestor, Viper. That is what it is. And then +2 melee, +2 missile attacks, +3 Carapace. And hopefully Adreno Glands. I feel like if it wasn't done, the Observer would be going insane over it. I can take a little look at the replay afterwards. We can get to the bottom of this, guys. Ah, those links look slow, by the way. Attacking the factory? I think you guys are right. Honestly, I think you guys are right. I think there is no Adreno Glands. I looked at those links attacking the factory, and that looked very slow. Like, if they have Adreno, the links are like... Oh, nice back-to-back fungal, but can we punish this Ghost Army? I'm afraid that's not going to happen. Twitch chat is 2 for 2 today with the Raven in the late game. No Adreno. Yeah, like I think we can excuse not having +3 melee, not having +3 missile attacks, like expensive upgrades, and maybe Serral felt that it wasn't the right moment. But Adreno Glands is an upgrade that he always needs to have. And they looked very slow attacking that factory. At this point, I am on the Twitch chat hype train of saying that Serral does not have Adreno Glands. Seems like a WTL observer has not picked up on it, as Serral is going to try to take that base on the top side of the map one more time. Maru is all over it, and Maru has a close to invincible army. Liberators and an insane amount of ghosts. Against Hydra, Ling, Bane, Infestor, Viper. And so many Zerglings have been produced. A couple of Hydras now working on the SCVs. Serral's doing a good job in finding damage. He's just not finding a good enough job in obviously ever cleaning up the army of Maru. Creep is also nothing to be ultra excited over. You can really see that the Terrans have picked up very quickly on the danger. How many? 624 Lings have died. Of the Sharking Infestus. Zerg players found a lot of success for a little while with Infestus that were burrowed and landed fungals on the Ghost. Safe to say that Maru has done his homework. He wants to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. This fight is really not that pretty for Serral. Does have Banelings connect with the Ghost towards the very tail end of it, so makes it slightly better, but not good enough. And it feels that Serral wants to leave. Serral is going to leave. GG gets called. 2-0 for Maru, guys. Before the series, a lot of you guys were wondering, does Maru even have a chance to make this competitive? Maru says, fuck you. Don't disrespect me like that. I'll make it look very competitive. So competitive that I'll win 2-0. That means that Maru improves to a 2-0 record in this tournament. Serral drops to 1-1. This is the group stage, guys. This is the tournament we are currently watching. So, Serral is going to join Classic and Rainer and Clem and Cure with a 1-1 record. Maru will join Hero and Dark with a 2-0 record. And we are about to find out who is going to be the fourth player to be 2-0. Is it Max Pax or is it Ragnarok? As that is going to be our next series. Still group stage, but very strong showing by Maru. Obviously, especially that first push with those tanks was massive. Those tank shots were insane. Only 4%, guys. 4% of the people predicted a 2-0 for Maru.